figure out
We're
what's
live.
happening in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Yay.
Yep.
Yay.
Yay. Yes. So it is about 12 o'clock, and I just wanted to go live a few minutes early with you just to make sure that we allow everyone time to get on so that they could chat with us.
Yay.
And it's very exciting to have you on here, Brenda. We've known each other for years. Yes. And then it was like we kept popping in, and every time I would talk to someone, they'd say, "Do you know Brenda?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. She's amazing." So
Yeah.
I'm so happy that you took the time today to be here on Digital Desk Live. So
yeah. Thrilled
just
to be
so
on.
everybody, you all, thank you. Yeah. So everybody knows who have popped in to start watching. I do want to just mention that Digital Desk Live is something that we've started doing here at Digital Desk, and it's really focused on people like Brenda who are really, give the wave, visionary, and they don't just sit back and think, okay, well, this is the way that things are done. They really look outside the box and try to find new and different ways to do things, and then bring us all along with them. So I always reach out to people who are willing to help others, and nobody does that better than Brenda. So very exciting to have you on today. And so just again, to give a little bit of background on Brenda, she is the Chief Engagement Officer of Meller Marketing.
I did that. I renamed my I promoted myself to CEO and actually put it out, Amanda, to a vote to the community. And I said, I want to be CEO, but I don't want to call it Chief Executive Officer. I want to call it something different. So I asked my community, and I got Chief Engagement Officer.
Which is awesome. I love it. And you know what? I might have to do that myself, because president sounds really boring, and we won't get into what I think about that. Well, we don't. I don't want to talk about what I think about the word president right now. But
you know what you can do when you're your own boss? You can decide pink is your brand color, and nobody's going to tell you anything different. You can go to the grocery store in the middle of the day, and there's nobody to yell at you anymore. And you can give yourself a job title that is not necessarily corporate sounding. You can call yourself anything you want. You can call yourself a visionary, you know, any fun names, right?
I think I might try that. Well, blue is my color.
Yeah.
And president, I'll have to come up with something a little bit more. Maybe that's what we can do today. We'll task everybody to chat, put in the chat bar what you think I should call my title here at Digital Desk, because Chief Engagement Officer sounds pretty awesome, but I don't want to definitely.
Hey, you can totally use it. I did not invent it. I actually did a search on LinkedIn for Chief Engagement Officers to find other people. And there's other people in there. I didn't create it. I would love to say I created it, but no, it was just there.
All right. Well, it's awesome, and you make it look good. So, and the pink I love. So yeah. So she is Chief Engagement Officer of Meller Marketing, and Brenda is what she calls an ambassador of LinkedIn. So for those of you that may think LinkedIn is something that you put your resume on and then you come back 10 years later and maybe update your title, that is not what LinkedIn is anymore. And Brenda has actually made an entire mission really out of helping others learn how to use LinkedIn in order to find jobs, but also to grow their companies. So Brenda, do you want to tell us a little bit about your journey to where you're at right now?
Sure. It's kind of not a linear journey. I mean, I know there's people out there who were born an entrepreneur and this is what they wanted to do. And for me, I'm just noticing I'm not in my camera frame. I don't make mistakes on camera, you guys. I have learning experience. I just had a learning experience. I was like, ooh, I'm off of center. So for me, I wasn't that person who, like, fresh out of college said, I'm going to work for myself. I kind of went through the expected path. You know, you get a college degree, you get your first job, you get to the point where you don't like it anymore and you go into another job, and you're trying to always kind of progress throughout your career. And I was going up the corporate ladder, and I had aspirations of being a chief marketing officer. In my last corporate role, I came in as a marketing manager. I was promoted to director of marketing and then to assistant vice president of marketing. And I earned my grad degree at the time. And all of these things, I didn't know it, but all of these things were layering up to prepare me for where I'm at today. So in the back of my mind, I guess I always admired people. I remember one of the first people who I saw doing it was Lynn Galodner. Do you know Lynn, Amanda?
You know what? I think you actually just connected me to Lynn. So we just met, but she seems amazing.
Yeah, and she's watching. If she's not, I'm going to tag her later. But she was one of those people I was like, wow, she left corporate and she started her own business. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I wonder if I could do, but I always like admired it, but I never like thought I could be one of those people. And I was, I had been with my organization for about 9 years. I was starting to look around, and the challenge was always like finding something that is as good or better as where you're at, right? The grass is always greener. You don't want to leave and go, oh, I wish I would have stayed there. But I was ready to make a move, and the universe nudged me forward. We had a leadership change, and there was a timeline I was given that my position was going to be changing, and I chose to accelerate that, and I left, and I held my head high, and I spoke very favorably upon all of the experiences, and everything that I did in that organization helped to prepare me for where I'm at today. So I used LinkedIn to find that job at the height of the recession in 2008. If it wasn't for LinkedIn, I wouldn't be sitting here today. If it wasn't for that job and the visibility that gave me and the opportunities it provided to me, I wouldn't be here today. I earned my grad degree from that institution employer, and I got a little bit of a crash course in setting up my business, getting an LLC started, creating a website, and all of this was just like a class project. But as I was doing it, I had people, I was kind of telling them about it, and they said, oh, you're doing LinkedIn coaching for women. I know someone you can help. And I'm like, well, this is just hypothetical. They're like, well, there are real people who need your help. And I'm like, okay. And they want to pay you. So I was doing a little bit of a side hustle in the background that combined with, people were reaching out and saying, you have a knack for public speaking. You understand this LinkedIn thing. Can you help us understand how to use it? And, sometimes they would pay, and sometimes they would say, we don't have a budget, but you can do a sales pitch for your organization. And so it was not linear at all. But as back in 2017, I was starting to look for, I was on hiatus, if you will. I was looking for a new job. I was meeting people for coffee and lunch and just, staying active in network. I was a professional networker at that time. And I started having people say, hey, Brenda, since you have some time, can you help me with my LinkedIn? Hey, Brenda, since you have some time, can you help us with social media management, or can you help us with a marketing plan? And I wasn't even trying to find these opportunities. They were finding me. And I started going, well, hold on here a second. As a marketer, what if I pieced these things together, put them into my website, started promoting myself in Meller marketing? I probably don't need to go back, and I can probably have my own job. And, my husband will remember, it was like, I think January, maybe it was December or January, when he was starting to find me jobs and send me Google alerts. And one day he sent me a job, and I said, what is this for? And he's like, well, for finding a job. And I said, well, I'm not interested in that. I'm actually doing Meller marketing. And he's like, well, yeah, that's just till you find another job. And I said, yeah, about that. Here's the deal.
Oh, FYI. Yeah. Well, I know. I can't tell you how many times I've heard from people, well, when you get a real job, I have a real job.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning, I was telling people that I'm just doing this until I find something. And I would always tell my clients, like, I'll find somebody to turn this over to. I'll find somebody like Amanda out there to help you with social media.
Yes.
And I had a couple of my clients saying, why would you ever go back? You're so good at this. And all you need is like 3 or 4 of us to do what we're doing on a monthly retainer. And you're probably at your salary, right? And I'm like, yeah, but it's not that easy. And I fought it for a little bit, and then I embraced it. And I remember early on hearing, it was like a podcast, and someone said, if you work for a company and you do something that makes that company more money, maybe you get a bonus or a spiff or an extra percentage increase in your bonus at the end of the year, but you don't get that money, the company. When you work for yourself, that money, Amanda, goes into your pocket, right? And there's expenses and taxes, but the opportunities are limitless. So for me, that was like, that was it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's whatever you want to do when you want to do it. So, and what I love hearing from you is your niche found you, and that's the thing. It's like what your destiny should be really does find you. So whether or not you're ready for it, you just have to be open. And if you see something keep coming your way, maybe the universe is trying to tell you something, and it's definitely told you the correct thing. So absolutely. So going from that and then talking about LinkedIn specifically, I actually reached out and I asked people, what exactly would you like to ask Brenda?
Sure.
Because I know a lot of the people that follow me and a lot of the people that are watching right now and follow you are probably out there, and they might be a Brenda or an Amanda thinking, I want to do this myself. I mean, we're going through nothing like this has ever happened before. I mean, a pandemic has never happened. We're all talking about it. But it's left a lot of us in a situation where we have a choice. So I always call it an opportunity. We have an opportunity now for those that might have been thinking about starting something to actually try it right now. Much like when you were on hiatus, I did the same thing. I said, thank you very much. Bye. Huh?
Did you have a hiatus too? I like calling it a hiatus. It just sounds like very eloquent. Right.
Well, I left, and my mother almost had a heart attack because I left without a quote unquote job.
Oh, yeah, right.
So I left and created my own. Yes, I left CNN and decided just to do whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was blessed enough to be able to do that. But so my journey very much mirrors your own. So, but a lot of people are probably thinking, hey, I want to do that too. But I've gone onto LinkedIn and I don't know what I'm doing. And like I've been told that I should be, spiffing up my LinkedIn profile, but I don't know where to start. So what would you tell them?
So, I mean, you got to get very focused on what it is that you want to do. I mean, sometimes I hear people in career transition and I say, well, what do you want to do? Because that's where we start from. I'm a marketer, so I'm always putting my marketing hat on and I'm thinking about who is your ideal target audience? What are your business or career goals? And then when we're layering in on LinkedIn, we're thinking about the etiquette of the network and why do people care, right? We've got to keep them engaged. So we have to start from a point of, well, what do you want to do? And sometimes when I talk to people who are in career transition, they say, I just need a job. I'll do anything. And I'll say, great, Kroger is hiring. They need people to help with packing and shipping. Randazzo's is also hiring for baggers. And then they're like, no, I don't just need a job. I want to do something I'm qualified at. Okay, now let's try to get more focused. What is that? What level? What job title, what industry, and it doesn't always have to be what you did before. Sometimes I meet people and they're like, this is what I've been doing for the past 15 or 20 years. Okay, but did you enjoy doing it? Do you like doing it? Well, this is what I'm good at. This is what I do. But do you enjoy doing it? Do you like doing it? And it has to come back to passion and unique skill set, and it has to be inside here, right? So you have to get super focused. Do you enjoy, and you have to be honest with yourself. Do you enjoy doing it? You can't just be good at it. Do you enjoy doing it? Because you don't want to get to the point where you're later in your career and going, oh, shoot, I've been miserable my entire life. I hated doing that. I wish I would have done this instead, right? So you got to get kind of clear focus on that. Then through that lens, okay, if you want to be a public speaker, for example, for a living, you've got to get super focused on your LinkedIn profile, looking at through that lens from the top of your profile all the way to the bottom. How does my headshot photo set me up to be a public speaker? How does my header image in the background demonstrate my speaking experience? How does my headline field set me apart from other speakers and also help me to come up in more search results and get you to click on my profile? So everything from the top of the bottom of your profile should be through that lens of what is your goal, who is your audience. That's who the profile is being built for. So getting super focused is really that first step.
Okay. Wow. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I definitely need to go back and revise my stuff. So what is the most important part of a LinkedIn personal profile? What is the biggest thing?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is really it's a combination of all of those top elements. It's having a good professional looking headshot photo, current, pleasant, smiling, your face is framed up nicely. It's having a header image in the background that helps to support and align with your business and career goals. It's having a headline that doesn't say job title at company. It's having an about statement that's written in a way that the first 3 sentences are really compelling and cause people to click see more and expand a view on your profile. And even things like having your contact information, look at it. Is it accurate? Does it have the website for your last employer in there by mistake? Have you not updated it? But making sure information is accurate and up to date and reflective of all of your business goals. I mean, I don't know that I could pick one thing. I think if it's really as a category, it's all the stuff at the top of your profile that you should really be focusing in on.
Okay. That's really good to know. And as far as education, we did have somebody that asked, education wise, is it important to have your education up higher or, can you move it hire? Like, what should you be doing? Because everyone's looking at LinkedIn almost like a resume, I think. And it's really not just that, but on your profile, is there education the most important part, or is it just something that's on there?
So education is a section of your profile, and you can and you should upload any educational attainments you have completed. So, you know, it may be community college plus bachelor's degree plus master's degree, or maybe you've gone all the way PhD or doctoral degree. Maybe you've done additional graduate coursework or certifications. So what happens is the education section stays in that bottom kind of part of your profile, but the education that you have on the top position in there is the one that appears in your top header card. So for me, I attended, you know, Central Michigan for my bachelor's degree and Walsh College for my master's degree. Central Michigan is pretty widely known outside of the state of Michigan. Walsh College is very well known in Metro Detroit, but really not too well outside of Michigan. So I'm going to think about this from the perspective of my career goals and my target audience. Who are they and why do they care about that degree? And, you know, if they're in Michigan, maybe it's better to use Walsh because that's the highest level I earn, and it has good reputation in the community. If I am targeting people from throughout the world, throughout the US, maybe it's better to use Central Michigan because there's more familiarity with that name, okay? So hopefully that helps that person out. You can reorder those. You have to kind of hover over in the education section, and you can kind of drag and move them around, and then you can see which one appears in that top header card of your profile.
That's great. That's really good. Thank you. So not to pepper you with questions, but
feel free.
Lots of people have lots of questions for you. So one of the questions that came through was, how important is it to have a business page when you have your own business on LinkedIn?
Super, super important. You have to have one. It's free to set it up. Here's the analogy I want to give you guys. So, and at first I want to start with the backstory. So if I land on your profile, Amanda, and I want to do business with you, and I see next to your experience session for Digital Desk, the gray building avatar. It's kind of like the kiss of death, right? And what that means, if I see that gray building avatar, it either means, technically, it means you don't have a company page or you have not linked it to your company page. And that's why the gray, or maybe you set it up, but you put no logo in there. So there's 3 possible solutions. That's the technical side. What really happens in the psychological kind of like click of an instant, when somebody lands on your profile and they see that gray avatar next to your company name, they either think, this is not a legitimate business. Amanda doesn't really work there. Or Amanda's working out of her basement. This is a small operation. She's just getting started. You know, it's not, I don't know if I want to put my money
on hiatus. And
she's dabbling. This isn't a real thing. So, so think about that. Not having a page, you could be losing opportunities, or opportunities that are coming to you might say, I'm a little nervous because it doesn't look like a legitimate business. When you have a business page set up and your logo's in place, then they can click to go over to your business page. So the difference between a personal LinkedIn profile and a business page, I like to give this analogy. A personal profile on LinkedIn is for networking, generally speaking, okay? You and I meet at an event. I send you a LinkedIn invitation. I don't sell because that's improper to do, right? I'm personalizing it to you. You accept my invitation. We start messaging back and forth. We see each other's updates. So it's networking is kind of like going to the mall, if you will. You know, we might be going there, Amanda, just to meet, to hang out. We might be going to the food court. Maybe we do have some shopping to do, but maybe we're just kind of socializing. So that's kind of like having a personal profile. You're socializing at the mall. Okay. A company page is like me walking inside Bath and Body Works. Okay. I'm walking in that store because I am interested in their products and services. Maybe I'm interested in making a purchase, right? And when I walk into that store, a sales associate walks up to me and she says, "Welcome to Bath and Body Works." And she hands me a basket and I grab it, right? And she says, "We're doing buy 3, get 3 free today." And I'm like, Brad, I was going to get out of here without buying that. And I'm starting to throw the lotions and stuff in my basket. But I am receptive to that sales message. Think about if you're walking through the mall, Amanda, if you've ever had one of those research people come up with a clipboard and say, "We're doing research today. Could we get you
over here?"
And you're like, right. And you're like, I don't want to be sold to when I'm walking through the mall, right? When I'm walking through the mall, I'm socializing. Maybe I'm seeing people, I'm getting food court, whatever. But when I walk to the store, I'm open and receptive. So when people visit your company page, they are open and receptive to those sales messages. When they click the follow button, that's like, you know, raising their hand. I'm interested in learning more. That's like me grabbing the basket from the sales associate at Bath and Body Works saying, because grabbing the basket is like, yeah, I'm interested in putting things in my cart and making a purchase here today, right? So it's different. A business page is the entity, the organization. You as an individual have your individual profile. And yeah, so as self-employed entrepreneurs, we're one and the same. Brenda Meller is Meller Marketing. Meller Marketing is Brenda Meller. But from the outside world, Meller Marketing may look a lot bigger. It might look like I have a whole team that's running this operation for me, right? And I look like a legitimate business.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I can never go to Bed or Bath and Body Works.
Right?
Think about this.
The kiwi, what was it, like kiwi lime, and there's like
I'm cucumber melon.
Cucumber melon, that's what it is. It was like cucumber melon. Love that fresh scent.
Yeah, and then they discontinued it. But anyway, I digress. But that does go to like another. Now everybody knows what we smell like. But
how good.
It goes into someone did ask me, and this is I'll be honest with you, one of my pet peeves, but they did ask, how do you feel about people reaching out to you in Messenger, like in LinkedIn, and trying to connect with you that way and sell?
It's kind of interesting because, you're building relationships with people on LinkedIn. So selling is never something you should do in the initial outreach. I am always a big believer that it's better to get the person to accept your invitation first. And when you send them an invitation, you include a personal note. You make the invitation all about them. It's not about you. It's not about what you're selling or what you do. It's about what you have in common. It's about what you saw in their profile, what it was that prompted you to reach out. I was at a class at Macomb, Amanda, and I heard you're teaching there in the fall. Let's connect on LinkedIn. You're making it all about that person. And then the second step is kind of a soft pitch, if you will. If I sent you an invitation, Amanda, and you accepted it, my second message to you would be, thanks, Amanda, for accepting my LinkedIn invitation. And here's my soft sell. If you ever have any LinkedIn strategy questions, please let me know. That's it, Brenda Meller. That's it. And then I walk away from it. If you do have a question, you'll know where to find me. Even if you don't, I don't follow up with a sales pitch then and there, because of the fact that now you and I are connected. I'll see your updates. You'll see my updates. So you're going to get to know me, and I'm going to earn your trust. Eventually, if and when you do reach out to me, I'm not having to pressure sale you into that situation, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say big no. It's kind of like LinkedIn is somewhat like dating. You don't want to propose marriage before the appetizer arrives. And it's going too fast and too aggressive. You need to slow that process down a little bit. Get to know people on a professional level, earn their trust, engage with their content, and slowly build that process up.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I can't tell you how many times a day I get someone trying to marry me before the appetizer.
Right? Yeah. Some of the marriage proposals on LinkedIn, well, not really, but like the guys who are like using LinkedIn for eHarmony, I just don't do that, please.
No, don't do it. It's bad. Don't do it. So, okay. And, one of the things that I've, always wondered, because I tried, and I tried the paid LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And versus the free LinkedIn. I don't see, for me, I don't see a reason to pay for it. Do you use the paid LinkedIn? What is it that drives anybody to that?
Yeah, so great question. First of all, LinkedIn is a business, and most of us are using their product for free. So the way they make their money is they serve as advertising, so they're getting ad revenue. They're also, they have teams that have like Sales Navigator licenses for the year, and then they also sell premium subscriptions. So I get that they're a business and they have to sell those to us, but do keep in mind that you can do just about, probably 95% of what you need to do on LinkedIn using the free basic version. And sometimes I work with clients and I look at their accounts and I say, oh, you have premium or Sales Navigator. How are you using that? And they're like, oh, I forgot that I'm even paying for that. I'm like, cancel it right away. I don't want to send LinkedIn money that you're not getting value out of. But if you do have it, let me show you what you can do with it. Premium, I want to make sure you guys understand this. LinkedIn Premium does not mean better. LinkedIn Premium means you are paying for additional features, okay? If you are not using those features, if you're not sure what those features even are, you should cancel, because you're wasting money. You're throwing money at LinkedIn. Throw it at me or throw it at Amanda instead, you guys. We'll help you out.
We'll both drive over. We'll drive over.
But if you, I usually tell people, do not upgrade to Premium or Sales Navigator unless these three things are happening. One, you have a fully optimized LinkedIn profile. It's been built for your ideal target audience. All the fields are filled out and they're accurate. 2, you are sending invitations and they always include a personal note. You're following up on those as well. And you're also screening in invitations from people you don't know, every single one. 3, you are engaging with your network homepage feed, looking at content that's coming through, liking, commenting, participating in conversations, and also you're posting yourself. So if you're doing those 3 categories of things, yeah, it might make sense to upgrade, but then you need to look at what are the features and what value are you getting out of them. If you're not using the features, don't pay for it. And if you need more help on that, let me know and I can help you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you said screening in people that you don't know, because many people will try to connect with you just so that it can go to your entire network and it'll say one connection, like one similar or, same connection. So then it, like, you might look at that and go, oh, Amanda's connected to, Joe Schmo, and they must know each other, and so then they have an easier way to get to your network. So there is a way to actually stop that from happening, but that does happen quite a bit. So I get that all the time. And I'm always like, no, you have to screen and make sure that it's a real person, that there's a reason behind it and all of that. And then you also mentioned posting. So let's talk about the importance of posting as a person, and then also in your business profile, and how often you should be doing that.
Yeah. So at minimum, you should be posting on LinkedIn at least once a week, And here's what I would do. And sometimes people struggle with, I don't know what to post. Here's what I would suggest that you do. Every time you're on an educational webinar like today, get comfortable using either your screen clipping tool and grab a screen capture, or do what I do, grab my phone, and I'm actually going to do this right now. I'm going to pull out my camera app, and this is cue the phones to come out, and I'm going to turn my phone sideways because LinkedIn prefers horizontal photos, and I'm going to take a picture of the screen, and then this is what I will post on LinkedIn later today. And I might say something like, attended a great live session with my dear friend Amanda. I'm going to tag Digital Desk in there as well. And here's something I learned. So when you're in sessions, grab a picture. I like that we're doing so many Zooms nowadays because we can see people on screen. Grab a picture and post something. And then tell people something that you learned from this session. I learned when you take a picture on your phone, turn it sideways. And, it's an easier way of capturing something that works well. Now on Instagram, I might do up and down. I'm going to do something for the stories right now. So I'm going to grab a up and down photo on there. But LinkedIn prefers kind of those sideways horizontal photos. So post at least once a week on your personal page. Ideally, you should be working up to posting once every single business day. Okay. Because of the fact, Amanda, that not every single person is on LinkedIn every single day. When you post, you're going to catch people who are on LinkedIn at that point in time. If you post every single business day, you're going to reach more of those people over time.
That's awesome. Love it. I don't want to take all of your time for your day, but I do have some questions that if I don't ask you, these people are going to. And before I go to their questions, I want to make sure that I do say they can tag you, right, Brenda? Like, you're
Absolutely.
cool.
Tag Brenda Meller. My rule, I'm LinkedIn, I'm a pretty open book and open connector. On Facebook, if you're tagging photos there, Meller Marketing is my page. My personal account for Brenda Meller is personal. It's friends and family only. But on Instagram, Meller Marketing, all one word. Twitter, Meller Marketing, or Brenda Meller. Those are both public. And then LinkedIn, either account, Brenda Meller, Meller Marketing. You can tag both of them if you'd like. That'd be okay with me.
I'm the same way. So it's Amanda Her. Facebook is personal. The rest is fair game. And it is Digital Desk. So it's under Hire, HIRE, Digital Desk for everything. Okay, so here are some of the questions. How do I stand out on LinkedIn, network effectively? So how can I stand out and network effectively?
So biggest tip I can offer you if you're looking to stand out and network effectively is pay it forward, focus on social media karma. So what I would recommend is you go onto LinkedIn, onto your homepage feed, and spend 15 minutes scrolling through that homepage feed. Like things or give it a reaction if something resonates with you, if it's somebody in your network who you should be interacting with, and then maybe 2 to 3 times a day, leave a comment of 5 or more words. 5 or more words is really key to the algorithm. When I see Amanda's post and I say nice article, the algorithm's like, meh, not a lot of engagement. If I see a post from Amanda and I say, wow, Amanda, this was an amazing article. It reminds me of something I read in the Wall Street Journal last week, and I put a 5 or more word sentences in there, the algorithm goes, ooh, people are talking about this. We're going to show this post to more people. And that helps to broadcast that out more, which in turn means more people see my name in the comment section, which in turn means some of them click to go to my profile. And I have an optimized profile. I am able to convert some of those profile visitors into customers for me. So that's the biggest thing, kind of focus. And I'm focusing on social media karma, paying it forward, shining the spotlight on others, engaging with others. That always comes back to me.
Oh, that's awesome. And I did not know about those 5 words. That I learned something today. So fantastic. Okay. So the next one is, I don't regularly use LinkedIn and was curious to know if I already did that. The cold message is actually effective. I'm drumming up business. It does not sound like it.
I would say you can do a cold message, but include a personal invitation on that. And I'll drop a blog link in the Facebook comments later to give you some instructions on how to do that.
That's fantastic. Okay, awesome. And then the next one, what are some strategies to use LinkedIn to get a job or career out of college?
Yeah, really great question. And Amanda, I'm going to answer this with directing people to my event page on my website. I'll drop it in the comments in here a little bit. Awesome. I've actually started to do a free weekly LinkedIn for job seekers session. This is open to anybody who is unemployed. If you're in, actively unemployed, in career transition, out of work, new college graduates would also qualify. I have a 4-part series. Building your LinkedIn profile is one, finding a job on LinkedIn is another, search invitation and messaging strategy is a third, and then posting and network engagement for job seekers is a 4th. Those are free, open to anyone. The link I will drop in below, but you can also go to mellermarketing.com and click into my events page and find that.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks amazing. And that's and this goes back to what I said. You're always giving back and you're always trying to, as you keep going, you reach back and you grab the next person. And I think that that's one of the most amazing things about you. So I'm very happy to have gotten to know you over the years.
Yeah. I think that's something we should all be doing. We should all be using our gifts and talents to help others. And it shouldn't be about what you're getting out of it. It should be about how can we use what we have to help others along the journey? Because as you're reaching the next rung of that ladder up, you should be helping the person behind you as well. And that's what this world is all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about social media pie.
So it's funny because I, a few years back, I started bringing in my love of pie into my presentation themes. And it really started kind of as just a personality element. There's the bacon people out there. Michael Lesich is the bacon person in my network here in Metro Detroit. And then there's like the cupcake people or the cake people, the sweets, and we all have like Amber Carden. She's the one who's like the cupcake person in my network. But pie was like something that nobody really owned. And it was something like I had a kind of a personal love for growing up. I was in a pie baking contest with my mom and I always just loved pie. And sometimes I talk about, I'm like, do I really love pie that much? I'm like, yeah, I do. I really do. I do love pie. And at one point I brought pie as a theme into the presentation. Like all of my slides had pies in the background. And then I created a hashtag social media pie. And it was kind of like as a joke, for the theme. And it stuck. And people started using social media pie afterwards. And then from that point forward, every time I went to do a presentation, I would bring a pie to give away. I'd go to like Grand Traverse Pie or Kroger or Meijer and buy a whole pie. And I would have people drop cards in a hat and they would draw and somebody would win a pie. And it was like they won the lottery. Oh my gosh, I've never won anything in my life. I won this pie.
Which is awesome.
And there's a lot of analogies to pie and marketing. What's inside the pie is kind of what the pie is all about. An apple pie, a pecan pie, a chocolate pie, that's kind of the central idea. The crust, the appearance, can help you to sell or make or break that product or service sale, right? And then a pie is meant for sharing. So you don't eat a whole pie, right? You take a slice of it and you share it with other people. And that's kind of what I'm about and what I do with my community. So I did what any good marketer does. I reserved the website domain and all the social media properties for Social Media Pie. And I'm working right now on launching a book with that name. And then I've got a LinkedIn Live series with that name that will soon be converting into a podcast. So Meller Marketing is springing off into new directions here.
Which is fantastic. And it's part of, it just goes to show that you're not someone who just goes with the status quo. You're always looking to go and move and grow and help others along the way. So it's fantastic. So make sure, please, to also drop the link to the Social Media Pie. Right now it's on Facebook and LinkedIn. Is that right? And then you're going to do
Yeah, you can literally go to socialmediapie.com. It redirects you to Meller Marketing. Once I get the book up and going, I'll have that as a standalone website. But for now, just go to Meller Marketing and you can find out more information about any of those broadcasts or any of the information I share with you.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I can't thank you enough. I think that I've covered everyone's question. I'm sure if you don't mind checking back, or I'll also let you know, like, people are going to have questions over the next couple of days. So I really appreciate your time and all of the information I have. It's like information. I feel like what some of my students tell me when they leave my classes, they say, "Oh my God, my head, there's just so many good little nuggets of information," right?
Yeah.
So that's what I can't wait to sit and play. And I'm definitely never going to put anything less than a 5-word comment on someone's on LinkedIn. So thank you again and have a great day. And I look forward to just kind of going for that cup of coffee and chocolate that we talked about.
Absolutely. So. And I'll come meet you you're at the CoLab, right? In Mount Clemens?
I'm at the CoLab. I have an office. You'll have to come and see. I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
I'm in Ranger, Macomb County, so I'm not too far from there. So once I feel a little bit more comfortable about venturing out, maybe we can meet up for coffee and chat a little bit more.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. And I will see you soon.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Bye.